Swami Vishwamananda, I request you to kindly read your paper. This paper title is Realizing God Through Art. So this is a very important, this is subject, and it will be something which is really important to know being artist. Some of us are artists here, so it will be interesting. Thank you.
Om Brahmadevam Atmabuddhi Prakasham Mumukshurvai Sharanamaham Prabuddhi. I offer my devoted pranam to Holy Trial. I pay my respect to Srimad Swami Bhajanananda Ji Maharaj and also Suvarnananda Ji. And I convey my best wishes to the audience. I am grateful for inviting me in this national seminar on the concept of spirituality in art. Today, my topic is realizing God through art. At the very beginning of discussion of the topic, usually the first question comes to our mind is, what is God realization? In one word, God realization is self-realization. And according to Sri Ramakrishna, God realization is the goal of all human beings. So this realization should be the only motive of all action we perform in our life. God is the indweller of all beings. God is the controller of our subtle bodies. Our soul, Jivatman, is a reflection of the divine God. And this reflection proves the existence of the God even when we are not able to see the God directly. This is the reason why we want to live, want to know, want to bliss eternally. Because our real nature is eternal. Eternal means unchangeable. The body, the mind, and the senses can never be eternal as they are ever changing. As a reference, here we can mention the utterance of Sri Krishna, Ishara Sarva Bhutanam Nirdeshe Arjuna Tishtati Brahmayan Sarva Bhutani Jamtrurani Manera. God resides in the region of the heart, the abode of mind of all creatures, as though mounted on a machine. In another place, Setasheta Upanishad says, Mayantu Prakrim Vidya, Mayinantu Maheshwaram. Though God is the controller of the nature, yet within the realm of Maya, he has become Antarjam. As separated from all these, there is in us the I consciousness, which does not change easily. When we try to think of God or spiritual consciousness, that I consciousness somehow or rather gets mixed up with our thoughts and our physical consciousness. We want to get rid of this I consciousness, which is pseudo-reality. To get success in our endeavor, Lord Sri Krishna advises us, Tasmad yogaya jijjasya yoga karmashu kaushalam. Therefore, to achieve highest goal, devote yourself to yoga. According to him, yoga is the skillfulness in action. On account of this idea, we can treat an artist's skillful artwork as yoga. This yoga could be accepted as a secondary instrument to God realization. Through art, one can refine his mind, which is very essential for God realization. When an aspirant creates an art, he tries to frame an object from subjective abstract according to his choice by discover his art in the art materials. Sri Krishna promises, Yo yo yanjam tanam bhaktam shraddhaya uchitam ichchati tasya tasya achalam shraddha tameva vidalanayam. Whichever form of a duty any devotee wants to worship with faith, the very firm faith I strengthen. Sanskrit proverb says, Jadrishi bhavana jasya siddhir bhavati tadrishi. effect depends on its cause. In another occasion, Shankaracharya pronounced in his Brahma Chintan poetry that Jadabhyasena tad bhava bhavet bhrama pitava. Whatever theme you practice, you will be transformed yourself accordingly. In Sanskrit grammar, we have seen the definition of karma. Priyaya akrantam karma. Karturi ikshitam tamam karma. Means, motive of a work is called karma. The person's utmost urge to get a matter is called karma. If we ponder upon the cause of worship based on this analogy, we shall get the same answer. Hence, we can say logically that work is worship. We can believe an artist's work and also worship. It could be treated as a path to God realization. Now I would like to brief about the ideals which may lead an art aspirant to reach the goal of his art worship. Prakriti eva karmani priyamanani sarvasaha ya pashyati atatmanam apartaram shatasya. An aspirant who sees action as being done in various ways by nature itself, and also his jivatma as the non-agent, that he realized God. Jada bhuta prithak bhavam ekastam anupashyati tateva cha vistaram brahma sampadhyate dada. When one realizes that the state of diversity of living things is rooted in one, and that their manifestation is also from that, then one becomes identified with Brahma. In the Gita we have seen Matta Sarvam Pravartate. From God everything has come out. Art as the path of God realization. Art is not to be confused with the pursuit of worldly truth, beauty or goodness. It is a life of adoring love and transcending these worldly matters. Its goal is divinity, which is not a mere sum of knowledge, love and beauty. This ultimate reality of art response to our demand is more than rational. Art means more than service, holiness, more than virtue. Through art, we want to express not only what we can, but what we cannot understand. There is the unknown, the reserve of truth, where the intellect cannot reach and yet feels to lie behind. There is an element of mystery in all true art, an incomprehensible certainty which is not to be explained by grammar or logic. Art experience, when genuine, is characterized by vividness, directness, freshness, and joy. In it, we feel the impact of ultimate reality. It is spiritual discovery, not creation. A man of art experience may feel the presence of God and not by argue, and do not argue about it. The shallows of man's existence are submerged in the flood tide of innocent joy. In 6th chapter of Panchadashi, Vidyaranya Muni, a great Indian philosopher, had given a comparison between process of painting and creation of universe. There is two aphorisms, he said. There are two aphorisms. In this aphorism he said, Jatha chittadipe chitrapote dishtam avasthanam chadushtrayam Paramatmani vidyayam tatha avastha chadushtrayam Jatha dhauta ghattidascha lanchita ranjita pata Chidanta jami sutratma virat cha atma tatha ujyate. There are 4 stages in painting of a picture. Similarly, there are 4 stages in the modification of Paramatma, the Supreme Self. 4 stages are dhauta, bhaktita, lanchita, ranjita, sequentially. In a picture, we have the clean canvas, stiffening with the starch, drawing of the outlines, and the application of color. There are correspondingly the pure consciousness, the individual consciousness, the one identified with the totality of all the subtle bodies, and that with the totality of all the physical bodies. Similarly, we know about the 4 conditions of Atman, are Shuddha Brahma, Ishvara, Hiranyagarbha, Virat. Creation process includes 4 distinct stages, just as a background of cloth is necessary for painting a picture. An eternal, unchangeable background is necessary for even the appearance of such a thing called the world. An appearance of a matter cannot be possible without its result. Even falsity is so defined on account of its relationship with the truth, from which it would be distinguished. There is an all-pervading, unchangeable background which is pure consciousness. That is the first stage of creation. It has to exist as cloth has to exist. The second stage in creation is, as it were, stiffening of the result by the concentrated will of the cosmic being, called God. The featureless transparency of the universality of consciousness gets concentrated, as it were, with the staff of the futurity of creation. This is what we call the will of God. It is just existence as such. In the second stage, there is a determination in consciousness as to the nature of true creation that is to take place in the future. The third stage is the drawing of the outlines. The artist draws on his stiffened canvas a pencil sketch or light sketch in some form, barely visible and indistinctly cognizable as to its real features. Likewise, the framed pictures of the cosmos can be seen in the state of Hiranyagarbha. The stiffened form is Ishvara. The pure consciousness is Brahman. The fourth stage is the gross manifestation of the universe with all the variety, the vastness, and the beauty with all colors. So here are the 4 stages of creation, almost similar to the 4 stages of painting of a picture. Thus we may conceive that the process of creation in microcosm and macrocosm are analogous. Art in the words of recent God-realized souls, such as Sri Ramakrishna and Swami Vivekananda. The God-intoxicated man, Sri Ramakrishna, once said, quote, "If a person excels in music, painting, or dancing, that person can quickly realize God, provided he strives sincerely." Unquote. Sri Ramakrishna himself was a gifted singer. His dancing was spontaneous, spellbinding, and infused with spiritual ecstasy. He showed natural skill in painting and sculpture. He attracted to theatre as a medium of spiritual expression and was adorned by the actors of Bengal as their patron saint. Swami Vivekananda was a master of singing, was a connoisseur of Western and Eastern music. According to him, the secret of Greek art is to imitation of nature, even to the minutest detail, whereas the secret of Indian art is to present the ideal. Swamiji says, quote, "Art must be in touch with nature, and whatever that touch is gone, art degenerates. Yet it must be about nature. Art is representing the beautiful. There must be art in everything. The artist faculty was highly developed in our Lord Sri Ramakrishna, and he used to say that without this faculty, none can be truly spiritual. In art, interest must be centered in the principal theme." Swamiji professed that the artist catches some of the fleeting graces of nature and gives them permanence. This is the initiative work of an artist. Indian art is origin and spirituality. The contemporary art critic Anand Kumar Swami said Bhakti and Yoga were the dominated motifs which governed early Indian art. Sister Nivedita opined that great art epochs of history are great religious epoch of India. In one of the editorial of Prabuddha Bharat, it has been written that there is a natural tendency in the Indian mind to make everything, to approach towards God, the vortex of universe. Appreciation of beauty and aesthetic enjoyment transcend mundane things and establish a relationship with the absolute God. Beauty gives joy to the spirit, Jivatma. This aesthetic value of beauty is not an end value, but only an instrumental value, a means for the highest. The ultimate value is Param Purushartha, the moksha. Moksha is the consumption of all the other human values, dharma, artha, kama. Therefore, all art forms address themselves towards the manifestation of perfection and strive to lead human beings to the goal of salvation. In the 3rd century AD, Abhinava Gupta of Kashmir held the aesthetic experience at the highest level in the experience of the self, the Atman, as pure bliss. At this level of experience, the duality in creation, the subject and object, disappears through instant introspection, intense introspection. According to Patanjali, this is the yoga of ecstasy. Through the aphorism, one aphorism, Lord Krishna described Jad Jad Vibhuti Mat Sattam Srimad Urjidam Tav Eva Tat Tat Devava Gacha Tam Mama Tejas Ansha Sambhava. Whatever glorious or beautiful or ecstatic exists anywhere, know that it has sprung from or a spark of my splendor. All things endowed with beauty and glory are aspect of God Himself. As Siddhasiddha Upanishad mentions, the manifold universe is God Himself. Purusha evedam sarvam yad bhudam yachya bhavyam. The cosmic person is true. The cosmic person is truly this whole world, whatever has been